Buy Sri Lanka's best internet package for online learning and online working with many amazing offers. Call 1212 for more information. Sri Lanka Telecom.
ලෙන්ගතුකම වැඩි කරගන්න ලව්ජු රුපියල් 50ට අඩු කළා.
මාමේ එන්න අපිට එකක් බොමු.
Tonight, keep the guard up. Risk of a foreign strand of COVID-19 entering the island emphasized as schools return to pre-coronavirus schedule. Trouble brewing. Authorities urge water to be used sparingly.
The coming month is going to be a very challenging month.
War on drugs and underworld. Red notices obtained from Interpol on 14 wanted absconding suspects. Cost of living. Inflation dips marginally in August, but food inflation up from July. All that and much more coming up on First at 9. This Tuesday, the 1st of September 2020.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9.
Nava sunlight sakura. Then dikukal pavathina sakura mal suwandin.
Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhamke Kananga. Let's start with your local stories. Now, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board calls on the people to try and limit their water consumption to essential requirements as some tough times lie ahead owing to the dry weather of past several months. Water levels of reservoirs and rivers have reduced drastically, with the current volume at reservoirs only being 38%.
There are 75 main reservoirs and 167 other medium-scale reservoirs under the purview of the Department of Irrigation, which satisfy the needs of water consumption and electricity generation in the country. However, the total volume of water of the reservoirs in the island has reduced to 38% as a result of the dry weather conditions that prevailed in the country during the past few months. Furthermore, low water levels have been recorded from the 23 rivers in the country, including the 4 main rivers, and 75 of their gauges have recorded a water level less than a meter. With this situation, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board says that the 24-hour uninterrupted water supply will have to be limited due to the prevailing situation.
Due to the present weather conditions, the water levels at our reservoirs and sources have gone down, and we kindly request all our subscribers and users to use water only for drinking purposes and other required essential purposes. At this point of time, a lot of people are suffering without drinking water, and we kindly request them to help us in this situation. We feel this situation will continue till end of this month. The coming month is going to be a very challenging month, and we seek support from our consumers to make sure that they help us in this situation.
However, several districts experienced heavy rainfall and winds last evening. The heavy winds that flew across the areas of Ganeshpuram and Samaypuram in Vaunia damaged 34 roofs and 4 houses. Furthermore, strong winds also affected 20 houses located in the areas of Badulla, Ridimaliyadda, Bubula and Kurvitanna. What's more, a temple, 15 houses in the areas of Vaguruvela and a building of the Vaguruvela Mahavidyalaya were damaged due to strong winds last evening. According to the weather forecast issued by the Department of Meteorology, showery conditions over the island are likely to enhance today. Showers or thunder showers will occur over most places in Uva, East and Central and Sabaragamuwa provinces. Heavy showers about 100 millimeters are likely at some places, and fairly heavy showers over 75 millimeters are likely at some places in western, northwestern and southern provinces tomorrow.
The Criminal Investigation Department has succeeded in obtaining red notices on 14 suspects wanted for crimes committed in the island. The suspects are currently abroad and are absconding court. Meanwhile, the police also say that a vast sum of money recovered from the possession of various drug racketeers will be confiscated.
The chief suspect in the heroin distribution in the areas of Kandana and Jayala was apprehended by Kandana police yesterday. The suspect, identified as Ruwan Kumara alias Batagama Kuduruwan, was arrested from the area of Kandavatta in Jayala. The police have seized 1.5 grams of heroin from the suspect's possession and say that a sum in the excess of 50 million rupees has been transacted via his bank account within the last 7 months. Inspector T.R. HETTIARACCHI, who was attached to the MIRIHANA police station, has been interdicted by the senior superintendent of the police in charge of the Nugegura division. IP HETTIARACCHI previously served as the crime OIC of the Mount Lavinia police. During the Nugegura SSP's investigations, it has been uncovered that the inspector in question had maintained links with criminal gangs, which prompted his interdiction. Investigations have revealed that during his time as the crime OIC of the Mount Lavinia police, he had maintained telephone links with an individual named Dharmasiri, who was a member of a criminal gang which operated in the area. Dharmasiri is said to have fled the country, and he is also the chief suspect in the Soisapura hotel shooting. Probes have further revealed that IP HETTIARACCHI had also had close links with the suspect, who was arrested for arranging welfare facilities for the families of drug racketeers, who also happened to be a relative of Dharmasiri. The police said that the IP in question had also leaked information on operations launched by the Mount Lavinia police on drug racketeers. In the meantime, a woman was arrested by the Kandy police today while in possession of 62.35 grams of heroin and 58,000 rupees in cash from the hospital lane in Bogambara. The suspect, a resident of Anuradhapura, had been remanded in prison once and had developed links with one of Kandy's prominent drug dealers known as Kudu Chandralekha. The suspect's dealings had been based on those links. Elsewhere in Maligavatta, criminal gang member Mohammad Tajuddin Mohammad Shahul, alias Savanna, was arrested by the police special task force personnel from the area of Limolavatta. The 52-year-old suspect, who is accused of 4 murders, was in possession of 5.64 grams of heroin. In Mahiyangana, an individual named Sajit Vijay Surya, alias Taya, who distributed heroin in the area, as well as his wife, were apprehended by the police yesterday. Police said that suspects had 3.5 grams of heroin and 13,000 rupees in cash in their possession. Meanwhile, 2 men and a woman were arrested by the Kalutara North police for attempting to throw heroin-concealed paper balls into the Kalutara prison. Police have seized 8.5 grams of heroin, 2 mobile phones and 8 SIM cards. In another development, acting police spokesperson SSP Ruwan Gunasekara says that the Criminal Investigation Department has obtained red notices from the Interpol on 14 suspects who are currently abroad absconding courts.
පසුගිය මාස දෙකක කාලය තුලදී බස්නාහිර පළාත තුල පමණක් අපරාධකරුවන් නොයෙකුත් නීති විරෝධී ක්‍රියාවලින් උපයාගත් ඉඩම් දේපල 12ක් අනාවරණය කරගෙන තිබෙනවා මේ වන විට. සමස්ත ප්‍රමාණය පර්චේස් 900ක් පමණ වෙනවා. රුපියල් මිලියන 4000කට වඩා වටිනා වත්කම් අපරාධකරුවන්ගේ මත්ද්‍රව්‍ය ජාවාරම්කරුවන්ගේ බැංකු ගිණුම් 102ක් අනාවරණය කර ගැනීමටත් හැකියාව ලැබිලා තිබෙනවා බස්නාහිර පළාත තුල. මේ බැංකු ගිණුම් 102 තුල පසුගිය කාලය තුලදී රුපියල් මිලියන 2600කට අධික මුදලක් සංසරණය වෙලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ බැංකු ගිණුම් වල මේ වන විටත් තිබෙන රුපියල් මිලියන 96ක මුදලක් තහනම් කිරීම සඳහා පියවර අරගෙන තිබෙනවා. ඊළඟට විදේශයන්හි සැඟවී සිටින අපේ අධිකරණ ක්‍රියාවලියට අවශ්‍ය කරන අපරාධ කල්ලි සමාජිකයන් 14 දෙනෙක් සම්බන්ධයෙන් පසුගිය මාස දෙකක කාලය තුලදී රතු නිවේදන ලබා ගැනීමටත් අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව කටයුතු කළා.
Now, for the first time since the spread of COVID-19, all government schools will continue to operate as usual starting from tomorrow. The return to pre-coronavirus schedule will be done under 2 phases, with grades 6 to 13 returning to normal tomorrow. With repatriation operations continuing, the Medical Research Institute warns that an imported infection might carry a different strand of the COVID-19 virus to that of Sri Lanka's, which would spell further danger and complications. As imported cases soar, the Army Commander meanwhile says that repatriations will have to be restricted.
32 imported cases of COVID-19 were reported in the country today. Among them are 22 repatriated Sri Lankans from Qatar, 1 from India and 1 from the United Arab Emirates. Meanwhile, among the 37 COVID-19 infected persons identified yesterday, 32 are from Qatar. From the 5 remaining persons, 3 are Indian sailors and 2 are from the UAE. With the influx of fresh cases, the country's total number of COVID-19 infections to date rose to 3,081. So far, 2,879 patients have returned to their daily lives after full recovery. Health authorities meanwhile placed the number of active cases at 190. In the meantime, 640 Sri Lankans living in several Middle Eastern countries arrived in the island today. They were subjected to PCR tests at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayake and were directed to quarantine centres.
මේ ගුවන් යානාවල එන අය ඉතින් ඔවුන්ටත් යම්කිසි ආකාරයක අවදානමක් තිබෙනවා. ගුවන් තොටුපොලේ සිට සියලුම කට්ටියටත් යම්කිසි අවදානමක් තිබෙනවා. ඒක අනුව අපිට ඉදිරි කාලෙදී තවදුරටත් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් ලංකාවට රැගෙන ඒමට කටයුතු කරනවා. නමුත් ක්‍රමවේදයකට අනුව අපි දැන් කරන ප්‍රමාණය යම්කිසි ආකාරයකින් ඉදිරි කාලයේදී ඒ ගේන සංඛ්‍යාවන් වල වෙනස් වීම වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද දැනට නිරෝධායන මධ්‍යස්ථාන 71ක් තුල 7576 දෙනෙකු නිරෝධායන වෙමින් පවතිනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම මැද පෙර දිගෙන් එන කට්ටිය තමයි මේ කොවිඩ් ආසාදනය වෙලා තිබෙන්නේ. මේක යම්කිසි සීමාවකට යටත්ව තමයි ලංකාවට රැගෙන එන්න වෙන්නේ. නැත්නම් රට තුල කොවිඩ් පැතිරීමට උනත් අවස්ථාවක් එන්න පුළුවන්.
මේ දිනවල කොවිඩ් ආසාදිතයින් ඇතැම් දිනවල වැඩියෙන් වාර්තා වෙනවා. ඒ අනාරක්ෂිත රටවල් වල ඉඳන් එන අපේම සහෝදර ජනතාව විස බීජ ආසාදනය වෙලා පැමිණීම නිසා. මෙහි භයානක පැත්තක් තිබෙනවා. නමුත් මේන් ආරක්ෂා වෙන ක්‍රමවේදය අපි දන්නවා. අපි නැවතත් අපිට අමතක වෙලා තිබුණු මුඛාවරණය ආයත් පළඳින්න පටන් ගන්නට ඕනේ. අපිට අමතක වෙලා තිබුණ අතහොදන එක නැවත ආරම්භ කරන්නට ඕනේ. පිට රටවල් වල ඉඳන් එන වෛරස් එක මේ රටේ තිබුණු ප්‍රභේදයට වැඩිය වෙනස් එකක් වෙන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා. මේ වෛරස් එක නැවත සමාජගත වෙන්න අවස්ථාවක් ඇති වෙන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා. ඒ අවදානමට පෙර සූදානම් වෙලා කටයුතු කිරීම මගින් මේ කොවිඩ් ආසාදනයේ නැවත මේ රටට එන්නේ නැති වෙන්න වග බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්.
Meanwhile, for the first time since the outbreak of COVID-19, all government schools will resume as per usual tomorrow, and it will be done in 2 phases. Accordingly, students of grades 6 to 13 will resume school from tomorrow in accordance with the pre-COVID-19 schedule. Under phase 2, starting from the 8th of September, students of grades 1 to 5 will resume school according to their usual schedule.
We will see you shortly. Bear with us.
Enjoy a very smooth shave with the Bic Easy 2 razor. Bic Easy 2.
Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, archaeologists have come upon 3 statues believed to be from the 7th or 8th century AD from the Kumana Reserve during an expedition. The statues, carved onto a rock surface, consist of a statue of Lord Buddha flanked by 2 Bodhisattva statues. The expedition was led by senior professor at the University of Kelaniya, Raj Somadeva. The statues have been exposed to the elements for quite some time and had suffered heavily at the hands of treasure hunters.
Senior Professor of Archaeology at the University of Kelaniya, Professor Raj Somadeva, along with a group of postgraduate students of the university, recently commenced an archaeological expedition in the Monaragala district with the objective of finding new information pertaining to the history of Ruhuna. The group started their journey from Athimale with the intention of finding the area known to exist as Budupatungala, located within the Kumana Reserve. 15 kilometers into the Kumana Reserve during their trek, the group had come across 3 ancient statues. Among them is a statue of Lord Buddha carved on a massive rock surface, accompanied by statues of Avalokiteshvara and of Maitri Bodhisattva carved on either side. According to Professor Somadeva, the statues belong to the 7th or 8th century AD. Sadly, at the time of this discovery, both statues had been damaged by human activities.
මේ ප්‍රතිමා දුටු පමණින් අපේ සිහියට නැගෙන්නේ බුදුරුවාගල තිබෙන ඊටාම විශිෂ්ට ප්‍රතිමා. අපට පේනවා මේ සම්ප්‍රදාය පුරාණ රුහුණට ආවේනික වූ සම්ප්‍රදායක් බව. මේ ඊටාම හුරුබුහුටි ලෙස නෙලා ඇති මේ ප්‍රතිමා මේ නිදන් පහරන්නන් විසින් විනාශ කර දමා තිබෙන ආකාරය ඔබට පෙනෙනවා. මෙවැනි පුරාවිද්‍යාත්මක වටිනාකමක් ඇති, සෞන්දර්යාත්මක හා කලාත්මක වටිනාකමක් ඇති, ඒ සියල්ලටම වඩා ඉහළින් ආගමික වටිනාකමක් ඇති මෙවැනි ස්ථාන මේ වගේ මහා කැලෑවල අවුරුදු දසදහස් ගණනක් තිස්සේ හුදකලා වී තිබෙනවා.
Chronicles stated that the geopolitical power of the kingdom of Ruhuna extended from River Kalu to River Mahavali when the kingdom was at its peak. Professor Somadeva says that these antiquities located in the area from Tissamaharama to Puthuvil and from Ampara to Serunuvara reflect the prosperity that existed in the kingdom of Ruhuna.
වාසනාවකට වගේ මෛත්‍රී බෝධිසත්ව පිළිමය ඉතා හොඳින් ආරක්ෂා වී තිබෙනවා. ඒත් අපට විශ්වාස නැහැ ඉදිරියේදී මේ ප්‍රතිමාවටත් අනිත් ප්‍රතිමාවටම අත්වෙච්ච ඉරණම අත්වෙන්න ඉඩ තිබෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපි ඉතාම ඉක්මනින් මේ ස්ථානය සංරක්ෂණය කළා අවධානයට යොමු කරලා මේ ප්‍රතිමාව මේ ස්මාරකය රැක ගැනීම අපි සියලු දෙනාගේම වගකීමක්.
Now, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that chairmen of district coordinating committees are responsible for finding solutions for the common problems of the people by working with ministers and state ministers. During the meeting with them, the President also said that young parliamentarians were appointed to chair these committees so they can fully invest their time in the task at hand.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa chaired a discussion with the chairman of the district coordinating committees at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday to make them aware of their roles and responsibilities. The President called on the chairman of the district coordinating committees to play an active role in building a national economy with the aim of solving the problems faced by the people in many districts. The President also pointed out that young parliamentarians were appointed to chair the district development committees instead of ministers so they could fully invest their time in the task at hand.
ඉතින් බොහෝ වෙලාවට අපි දැක්ක කාරණයක් තමයි මේ හුඟක් ජනතාව ගේන ප්‍රශ්න දැන් පුද්ගලික ප්‍රශ්න බොහොම අඩුයි. වැඩි වශයෙන්ම තියෙන්නේ ඒ පොදු ප්‍රශ්න. ඉතින් මේවා හඳුනාගෙන අමාත්‍යවරුන් රාජ්‍ය අමාත්‍යවරුන් සමග වැඩ කරලා මේවාට විසඳුම් ගෙනෙන්නට ක්‍රියා කිරීම තමයි මුන්නාන්සලාට විශාල වශයෙන්ම තියෙන්නේ. අපේ විශාල රාජ්‍යාංශයක් තියෙනවා. නිලධාරීන් ඉන්නවා මේ හැම කාරණයකට. කාර්යක්ෂමව ඒ නිලධාරීන් පාවිච්චි කිරීම හරහා අපිට මේ හුඟක් ප්‍රශ්න විසඳ ගන්නට පුළුවන්.
Meanwhile, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa inspected the residential and commercial building Alta yesterday, which is currently being constructed in front of the Beira Lake. The ground floor of the building is 40,000 square feet and the building also includes 404 luxury apartments and a shopping complex. The construction work of the building commenced in 2012 and 98% of it is now complete. The construction of the building is carried out by Shapurji Palanji Mid-East LLC. Furthermore, the remaining activities are expected to be completed by January next year. What's more, Alta is to become one of the tallest buildings in Sri Lanka after its completion. Meanwhile, the first cabinet subcommittee meeting on cost of living was worked off at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday under the patronage of the President. During the meeting, President Gotabaya emphasizes that appropriate measures will be taken to reduce the cost of living by implementing the decisions already taken while adhering to a consistent policy without moving backwards. Prices of several consumer goods, including turmeric, have risen due to decisions taken to uplift local agricultural industry and the farming community. President Rajapaksa points out that if turmeric and other commodities are imported to control or bring prices down, the desired objective will never be achieved. The President says that even though public face difficulties for a short period of time, measures that are taken to strengthen the rural economy and uplift the farming community cannot be reversed. He said that in order to control the foreign exchange parity rates and to get rid of high debt burden on farmers, imports should be restricted. The President pointed out that countries such as India and the United States have also imposed import restrictions in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. The President also highlighted the need for proper procedures to address the issues faced by the middle class in the suburbs due to inflation. Revamping the island-wide network of economic centres and implementation of a proper system to purchase farmers' produce was also taken into consideration by the Cabinet Subcommittee on Cost of Living. The President advised the officials to update him once a week on the market status. Meanwhile, head of the Presidential Task Force on Economic Revival, Basil Rajapaksa, stated that it was necessary to ascertain the amount of food consumed by an individual in the district and national level, and added that divisional secretariats should promote home gardening and poultry farming in areas under their jurisdiction.
Join us again on the other side of this break.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
Welcome back. This is First at 9. Now, train engine drivers have decided to withdraw from operating trains with faulty Chinese compartments. The move comes as a result of authorities failing to provide a solution to the long-standing problems regarding the faults in the brake system of those compartments. According to Secretary of the Railway Engine Drivers Association, Indika Dodangoda, there are 100 Chinese train compartments used in Sri Lanka which are faulty. He said that since 2010 complaints had been made with the Railway Department over the faulty train compartments. However, the Railway Department had requested the train engine drivers to continue operating such trains, assuring that charge sheets would not be filed against any collision caused by these faulty trains. Inflation in the Colombo Consumer Price Index has decreased by 0.1% in August in comparison to July.
Headline inflation as measured by the year-on-year change in the Colombo Consumer Price Index decreased to 4.1% in August this year from 4.2% in July. This was mainly driven by the statistical effect on the high base prevailed in August 2019. Food inflation year-on-year increased to 12.3% in August from 10.9% in July, whereas non-food inflation year-on-year decreased to 0.8% in August from 1.5% in July. The change in the Colombo Consumer Price Index measured on an annual average basis remained unchanged at 4.8% in August 2020. Monthly change of CCPI meanwhile recorded at 0% for the month. This was due to setting off the price increase of 0.1% in the food category, with the price decline observed in the non-food category by the same magnitude. Accordingly, within the food category, prices of coconut, vegetables and turmeric increased in August 2020. However, prices of fresh fish and limes recorded significant declines during the month. Within the non-food category, prices of items in health subcategory declined. The core inflation year-on-year, which reflects the underlying inflation in the economy, remained unchanged at 3.2% in August 2020. However, annual average core inflation declined further to 3.8% in the month from 4% in July 2020.
Now, the Colombo Stock Exchange is set to go digital on the 17th of September, and officials of the Securities and Exchange Commission met Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa to convey the completion of the process. Market digitalisation is an initiative mooted by the Joint Committee of Colombo Stock Exchange and Securities and Exchange Commission. Under this initiative of digitalisation, an online account opening process would also be facilitated, where an investor could open a CDS account, start trading and make settlements electronically without the need to physically visit an office of a stockbroker.
The representatives of the Securities and Exchange Commission met Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa yesterday to inform the completion of the digitalisation process of the Colombo Stock Exchange. The digitalisation process of the Colombo Stock Exchange commenced as per the instructions of the Prime Minister, with the aim of unveiling it to the world in a new facade. Accordingly, all the activities of the CSC are set to go digital from the 17th of September. During the meeting, Chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, President's Council Viraj Dayaratna and Director General of SEC Chintaka Mendes also handed over an invitation for the event to the Prime Minister.
And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.